Welcome to the most exciting coin discovery of your life. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and ultra-rare bicentennial coins, an ordinary-looking coin with the power to make you a millionaire overnight. If you've got this hidden gem in your pocket, your entire future could change in an instant. Let's unlock the secrets behind this legendary piece of treasure. First up, in the world of American coinage. Few modern coins spark curiosity quite like the 1976 Roosevelt dime, especially when discovered in a very dirty, heavily worn condition. At first glance, it may look like a common piece of pocket change, but the moment collectors realize how certain minting varieties, rare errors, and high-grade survivors behave in the market, the entire perception of this humble 10-cent coin changes. The 1976 dime carries a deep historical connection to the United States bicentennial era, an emotional and patriotic chapter, making it far more culturally symbolic than many collectors initially expect. Even in rough shape, the coin acts as a tiny metal time capsule from a celebratory moment in American history, and that alone enhances its place in numismatic storytelling. Although the Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, the 1976 issue sits at a unique crossroads, produced while the country was honoring 200 years of independence. While the dime itself did not receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half dollar, and dollar, collectors still view all 1976 mintages as part of that historic milestone. Because Roosevelt dimes were among the first long-running decimal coins to emerge after the major design and composition changes of the mid-20th century, they represent a bridge between older silver coinage and modern clad coinage. This transitional significance helps elevate their collectible status, especially when a coin survives through decades of circulation, with any unusual features still intact beneath the dirt and wear. Despite being made from a copper-nickel clad composition with a copper core, far removed from the silver ancestry of earlier dimes, certain 1976 Roosevelt dimes have surprisingly strong demand among collectors. Most circulated examples are common, but the market always pays special attention to coins that display rare mint errors, exceptional eye appeal, or unusually well-preserved details. That is where the real value potential appears. Some dramatic mint mistakes or extremely sharp high-grade survivors have been known to bring prices that stretch far beyond ordinary expectations, sometimes reaching from the lower four-figure range into several $1,000s when certified by leading grading services. Finding a rare 1976 dime in extremely fine or very fine condition is much harder than people assume, because small denominations typically suffer the heaviest wear in circulation. Years of pockets, drawers, moisture, and neglect often leave them dirty or nearly unrecognizable. Yet beneath the grime, certain dyes, strike characteristics, or subtle minting anomalies can turn an overlooked dime into a serious collector's prize. Markets fluctuate, but standout examples can command strong premiums, often ranging from $1,000 to as high as $9,000 or more in cases where rarity, demand, and grading quality align in just the right way. The key is not to assume a dirty coin is worthless. Many of the most surprising finds in numismatics began disguised beneath layers of age and corrosion. As collectors explore these coins, investment potential becomes more than just a possibility. It becomes a strategy. Roosevelt dimes from 1976 that score high certification grades or are attributed with rare error varieties tend to appreciate steadily because supply remains fixed. There is no new stock entering the market, only the gradual discovery of hidden survivors. Coins with strong strike details, deep luster, or well-documented errors attract long-term investors who understand how scarcity and historical resonance drive prices upward across decades. Even modest examples often show slow, healthy appreciation as interest in modern U.S. coinage continues to grow worldwide. For new collectors, condition is everything. Even a dirty dime should never be cleaned, because cleaning destroys its natural surfaces and dramatically reduces value. Instead, the priority should be professional certification from recognized authorities such as PCGS or NGC. These services authenticate the coin, assign a grade, and document any special characteristics, an essential step when a coin has value potential above ordinary circulation. Studying grading standards, learning how to recognize genuine mint errors, joining numismatic communities, and staying active in collector forums all help build knowledge and confidence. The more you learn, the better you refine your eye for coins that others might overlook. Beyond its monetary value, the 1976 Roosevelt dime carries cultural symbolism that gives it long-lasting appeal. It represents President Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy, the endurance of American democracy, and the evolution of U.S. coinage through economic, political, and technological change. Collectors around the world appreciate the coin not simply as currency, but as an artifact of American identity. Its international appeal continues to grow as global collectors turn their attention to modern U.S. coins, with relatable history and accessible price entry points. In the long run, the 1976 Roosevelt dime stands as a powerful reminder that even the smallest coin can hold extraordinary meaning. Its blend of historical context, cultural weight, evolving market demand, and the thrill of discovering rare hidden varieties makes it one of the most intriguing modern dimes to chase. As the decades pass, appreciation for well-preserved and documented examples is only expected to rise, especially as collectors search for pieces that connect them to a story larger than themselves. Whether found in pristine condition or buried beneath years of dirt, this dime continues to shine as a symbol of heritage, possibility, and long-term value in the numismatic world. As more collectors dive into the history of the Roosevelt dime series, the 1976 issue gains renewed attention not only for its era, but for what it represents about the evolution of modern minting technology. During the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning to improved machinery, refining die preparation, and mastering the copper-nickel-clad layer structure that would dominate circulation coinage for generations. These technological shifts produced small striking nuances, slight differences in die polish, pressure variations, and edge formation, that specialists now analyze with increasing interest. The deeper researchers look, the more they uncover subtle varieties that may have been unnoticed for decades, adding another layer of mystery and discovery to the 1976 dime story. Collectors also appreciate how the 1976 dime reflects the social and economic climate of its time. America was experiencing inflation, changes in monetary policy, and growing public awareness of the value of everyday coinage. This climate contributed to heavier circulation, where on small denominations like dimes, making high-grade survivors scarcer than people imagine. Each coin passing through hands, machines, and pockets accumulated tiny marks that tell a story about the era's lifestyle. That human element amplifies the emotional connection collectors feel. A simple dime becomes a witness to the struggles, progress, and daily routines of ordinary people in the mid-1970s. Over time, the global numismatic community has embraced the 1976 dime as a reference point for studying error production in modern coinage. Because the mint was producing enormous quantities for the bicentennial period, the pressure to keep machines running created conditions where off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and striking anomalies had a higher chance of slipping into circulation. These pieces, often discovered randomly in old jars, estate sales, or inherited collections, can bring dramatic premiums. What makes them especially exciting is that they often hide under dirt and discoloration, written off as junk until an experienced eye recognizes a misplaced digit, a doubled element, or a subtle rim irregularity. In the investment world, Long-term collectors often describe the 1976 Roosevelt dime as a quiet grower, meaning its value does not spike overnight but gradually strengthens as more people recognize its historical and collectible significance. This slow and steady appreciation is ideal for collectors who plan to build long-lasting portfolios rather than chase short-term hype. As older collectors pass down their collections and younger collectors enter the hobby with fresh enthusiasm, demand for certified high-quality examples continues to rise. This generational handoff ensures that the story of the 1976 dime is not forgotten, but instead grows louder with each new collector who discovers its hidden potential. Ultimately, the enduring power of the 1976 Roosevelt dime is its ability to connect the past with the future. It stands at the intersection of historical memory, artistic legacy, and evolving numismatic study. Every collector who holds one, whether filthy from decades of circulation or shining in a sealed holder, becomes part of that ongoing story. The coin speaks to resilience, national pride, and the beauty of small details that most people overlook. Its international following, its market respect, and its cultural symbolism ensure that its value, both financial and emotional, will continue to climb as the world grows more fast. Second, the 1977 Roosevelt dime may appear like nothing more than worn pocket change when first discovered, especially in a very dirty and heavily circulated condition. But beneath its rough exterior lies a surprising story of value, rarity, and historical depth. This dime belongs to the long-standing Roosevelt series, which itself was born out of a national tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership. By 1977, the coin had already become one of the most widely recognized decimal denominations in the United States, a symbol of modern coinage advancing through decades of economic change. Yet collectors of today know that certain 1977 specimens, particularly rare errors, sharply struck survivors, or uncommonly well-preserved pieces, can stand among the most sought-after modern American dimes. Although Roosevelt dimes had circulated for decades by the time 1977 arrived, the era itself holds its own significance. The United States Mint was refining its copper-nickel-clad technology, phasing away from the silver era, and firmly establishing the modern composition we still see today. The 1977 dime is part of this transitional legacy, representing the shift from traditional precious metal coinage into durable, mass-produced decimal coins designed for intense, everyday use. This movement toward long-lasting copper-based coins marked a new chapter in American currency, and today the 1977 dime serves as an artifact of that technological and economic evolution. Despite its common appearance, collectors have discovered that 1977 Roosevelt dimes can become surprisingly valuable under the right circumstances. The combination of a copper core and outer nickel layer is not inherently rare, but the mistakes that occurred during minting, the scarcity of high-grade survivors, and the enduring demand for pristine examples create an unusual marketplace. Over time, standout pieces, those with dramatic errors, unexpectedly strong details, or exceptional surfaces, have sold for thousands of dollars, often ranging from $1,000 to $9,000 or more when authenticated and graded at the highest levels. These coins prove that even the smallest denominations from this era can capture enormous attention. Part of what makes the 1977 dime so intriguing is the difficulty of finding examples in very fine or extremely fine condition, especially when pulled straight from old drawers or discovered in terribly dirty form. Dimes absorb more wear than larger denominations because of their size, meaning details fade quickly and circulation marks accumulate heavily. However, hidden under layers of dirt, corrosion, and discoloration, there are times when a rare error or sharp detail remains intact. For collectors, the thrill lies in the possibility that a grimy little coin might actually be a valuable survivor simply waiting to be cleaned professionally, not by the owner, but by nature's slow preservation across decades. From an investment standpoint, the 1977 Roosevelt dime delivers the kind of subtle potential that seasoned numismatists admire. Prices for certified high-grade examples continue to trend upward, while error varieties maintain strong competition among collectors who chase uniqueness. Because this coin belongs to the modern clad era, many people underestimate its long-term potential, which ironically increases its investment appeal. Fewer individuals save coins from the 1970s compared to earlier decades, so elevated condition examples grow rarer as time passes and circulation slowly eliminates the sharpest pieces from public hands. New collectors who hope to understand the true value of the 1977 dime must focus on condition, authenticity, and proper grading standards. Dirty coins should never be cleaned, as cleaning damages original surfaces and destroys collectible value. Instead, a promising piece should be sent to reputable certification services that can verify its identity and assign a grade. Learning how to interpret luster, strike, dye markers, and minting anomalies becomes essential. Joining collector communities, online forums, coin clubs, and educational groups can strengthen knowledge, sharpen instincts, and build connections with experienced hobbyists who understand how to spot the finest examples in the field. Its historical importance stretches far beyond its monetary worth. The 1977 dime reflects America in the late 20th century, a nation undergoing technological improvements, cultural shifts, and financial transitions. International collectors admire it for its symbolism, as Roosevelt himself represents resilience, leadership, and global impact. Because of this emotional connection, the dime enjoys international demand not just as a collectible, but as a cultural relic that represents American strength and perseverance during a time of change. In the long run, the 1977 Roosevelt dime continues to grow in recognition, value, and appreciation. Collectors view it not just as a small coin, but as a living story sealed in metal, a testament to history, craftsmanship, and the unpredictability of numismatic treasures. As markets evolve and interest in modern U.S. coinage expands around the world, the 1977 dime's investment potential shines brighter each year. Whether discovered in spotless mint brilliance or buried beneath decades of dirt, it remains a symbol of cultural heritage, international admiration, and long-term collectible strength that will only continue to rise as new generations of enthusiasts uncover its hidden charm. As more collectors study modern American coinage, the 1977 dime has become a key reference point for understanding how everyday coins can unexpectedly transform into prized numismatic assets. Specialists examine these coins under high magnification, searching for doubled lettering, misaligned dies, planchet defects, or subtle minting irregularities that most people overlook. What makes the 1977 dime especially fascinating is that many of its most valuable varieties were never documented when they first circulated, only gaining recognition decades later as technology improved and hobbyists grew more observant. This evolving knowledge creates a sense of discovery, reminding collectors that even now, hidden treasures from this decade continue to surface. Another aspect of its appeal comes from the era's economic pressures, which resulted in heavier than normal wear patterns on small denominations like the dime. During the late 1970s, rising prices and constant circulation meant that these coins were handled everywhere: stores, transport, vending machines, office counters, and pockets. The average lifespan of a dime in circulation shortened significantly, making well-preserved 1977 examples all the more elusive. Every visible nick, scratch, and discoloration on a dirty coin tells the story of a nation facing financial challenges, social transformation, and cultural evolution. Collectors value this human history just as much as they value minting precision. For students of mint craftsmanship, the 1977 dime offers a fascinating look at how machine calibration, dye fatigue, and planchet preparation affected coin appearance during the era. Variations in dye polishing or strike force can create minute differences that only trained eyes detect, yet these subtle distinctions can raise a coin worth dramatically. Some collectors dedicate entire research projects to one-year varieties like 1977, documenting shifts in dye states, rim thickness, or strike sharpness. These efforts elevate the dime beyond its role as currency, transforming it into a subject of scientific and artistic study that deepens the appreciation of numismatic craftsmanship. In the global collector community, the 1977 Roosevelt dime enjoys rising respect because it represents more than just American coinage. It reflects an era of worldwide change. Collectors from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa often seek United States-clad coinage from the 1970s and 1980s because these coins symbolize strength, stability, and modernization. The portrait of Roosevelt, a leader recognized internationally, adds to its appeal. Many international enthusiasts collect these dimes not for rarity alone, but for what they represent: a powerful nod to resilience, humanitarian leadership, and progress during an important chapter of global history. As time marches forward, the long-term appreciation of the 1977 dime becomes increasingly clear. Coins that were once dismissed as ordinary pocket change are now viewed as rising collectibles with enduring potential. Every passing decade reduces the number of high-grade survivors as circulation continues to wear down the remaining pieces, making certified examples more desirable. Collectors understand that the combination of history, scarcity, and emotional resonance forms the perfect foundation for long-lasting value. Whether passed down through family generations or secured in a professional collection, the 1977 dime stands as a living testament to the idea that small coins can carry monumental meaning, both financially and culturally, for those wise enough to recognize their power. Third, the 1979 D. Roosevelt dime may seem like a simple, heavily circulated coin at first glance, especially when discovered in an extremely dirty and worn state. But beneath its rough exterior lies a story rich with history, rarity, and unexpected value. Important chapter in the evolution of American decimal coinage. Although Roosevelt dimes had been produced for decades by the time 1979 arrived, the series continued to carry the symbolic weight of honoring Franklin D. Roosevelt and his connection to national progress. When collectors encounter a 1979 D dime today, especially one with hidden mint anomalies or preserved details beneath layers of grime, they know it may be one of the rare pieces capable of commanding high value. By the late 1970s, the United States Mint had perfected its copper-nickel-clad technology, making the 1979 D dime one of the durable representatives of modern decimal coinage. The shift from silver to copper-based compositions earlier in the series marked a major transformation in U.S. money, and coins like the 1979 D stood firmly within this new era. Even though the dime's appearance seems ordinary, it reflects a time when the mint was balancing production efficiency with the growing demands of a busy, modernizing nation. Every coin struck during this period was designed to withstand decades of circulation, and that durability means that even a dirty, heavily used dime can hide rare features that survived against the odds. Rarity in the 1979 D dime emerges not from everyday examples but from exceptional survivors, dramatic mint errors, and sharply struck pieces that avoided the wear typical of this denomination. Collectors have discovered that certain varieties, such as off-center strikes, full torch details, die breaks, and strong mint state grades, can elevate the coin's market appeal dramatically. While most circulated coins remain common, the rarest examples have achieved surprisingly high values, sometimes ranging from $1,000 to $9,000 or more when authenticated and certified at top grades. These exceptional results come from a combination of scarcity, demand, die characteristics, and the intrigue that surrounds coins from this transitional era of American minting. The difficulty of finding any 1979 D dime in very fine or extremely fine condition cannot be overstated, especially when the coin appears dirty or deeply discolored. Dimes suffer the harshest wear of all circulating denominations because of their size, making high-quality survivors unusually scarce. Yet decades of circulation can sometimes preserve unexpected qualities beneath the dirt. A sharp strike, a hidden variety, or a rare die pattern that collectors immediately recognize as valuable. The excitement of discovering a potentially rare dime inside an old jar, dusty box, or forgotten drawer is part of what keeps the 1979 D issue so captivating within the numismatic community. As an investment, the 1979 D Roosevelt dime offers surprisingly strong potential for those who understand the subtleties of modern U.S. coinage. Collectors increasingly appreciate the importance of certified, high-grade modern coins, especially as older generations of hobbyists pass down their collections and younger collectors enter the market with fresh enthusiasm. Demand for exceptional dimes continues to grow internationally, and coins with strong luster, crisp details, or dramatic mint errors consistently rise in value. Because the total number of premium examples is limited by decades of heavy circulation, supply remains fixed while interest steadily increases, a combination that naturally drives long-term appreciation. Collectors hopping to identify valuable 1979 D dimes must focus on preservation, authenticity, and proper grading. A dirty coin should never be cleaned, as cleaning wipes away original surfaces and destroys collectible value. Instead, promising pieces should be examined carefully, preserved safely, and eventually submitted to professional certification services that can authenticate and grade them accurately. Learning about grading standards, studying die varieties, and participating in collector forums and coin clubs allows enthusiasts to sharpen their skills and avoid common pitfalls. The more knowledge a collector gains, the more likely they are to recognize true rarity when it appears in an unexpected form. Beyond its financial potential, the 1979 D dime carries cultural symbolism that elevates it beyond mere metal. Roosevelt's portrait represents leadership, resilience, and progress, qualities admired worldwide. This gives the dime international appeal, attracting collectors from countries that view American coinage as a reflection of strength and economic stability. Many global collectors specifically seek out modern U.S.-clad coins because they symbolize the transition from traditional precious metal currency to durable, modernized money that mirrors the pace of the late 20th century world. In the long run, the 1979 D Roosevelt dime will continue to rise in recognition and value, not only for its rarity, but for what it represents historically and culturally. Each passing year reduces the number of high-grade survivors, increasing the desirability of certified examples and rare error varieties. Its story blends history, technology, human symbolism, and the thrill of unexpected discovery. Whether found in a forgotten box or passed through generations, the 1979 D dime proves that even the smallest, dirtiest coin can hold immense meaning and lasting value for those who understand its subtle power, and that appreciation will only grow stronger with time. Collectors who study the finer details of the 1979 D Roosevelt dime often describe it as one of the most underestimated treasures in modern numismatics. Because most people associate high value only with older silver coins, they overlook the importance of later clad-era pieces. Yet experts understand that rarity is not determined by age alone, but by the combination of minting conditions, survival rates, and demand among collectors. The 1979 D dime embodies all three factors in ways that are not immediately obvious. It belongs to a period when minting machinery was pushed to its limits, making subtle imperfections far more common than most people realize. Those imperfections, once documented, become the very features that elevate a dirty little dime into a prized collectible with surprising value. Another compelling aspect of the 1979 D-dime's rising popularity is the growing interest in error coinage across the entire numismatic world. Younger collectors, especially, are fascinated by coins that differ from the norm, strikes that shifted, dies that cracked, planchets that missed, and edges that formed incorrectly. This excitement has breathed new life into modern mint issues, pushing coins like the 1979 D-dime into the spotlight. Social media groups, coin forums, and online communities now share high-resolution photos and educational breakdowns of error varieties, allowing collectors from around the world to identify potentially valuable traits. This growing awareness fuels demand, creating a cycle where interest expands and prices rise steadily. The beauty of the 1979 D-dime lies not merely in its physical characteristics, but in how it serves as a historical snapshot. In the late 1970s, the United States faced economic transitions, inflation, and rapid industrial development. Coins from this era carry the fingerprints of busy hands, vending machines, transportation systems, and everyday exchanges that defined an entire generation. Every mark and discoloration on a dirty 1979 D-dime becomes a silent witness to the lifestyle of the time. For collectors, owning such a coin is like owning a tiny piece of lived history, a reminder that currency is more than metal. It is a record of human activity, purpose, and endurance through changing times. Globally, collectors continue to elevate the status of clad-era American coins, especially those with iconic portraits like Roosevelt. International buyers view the 1979 D-dime as a representation of American resolve and progress, connecting it to themes of global leadership and humanitarian legacy. This universal appeal expands the market far beyond the borders of the United States, drawing interest from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. As more collectors across the world seek to complete Roosevelt dime sets or pursue rare errors, the demand for high-grade and unique 1979 D examples naturally continues its upward climb, strengthening the coin's position in the global numismatic landscape. In the long-term future, the 1979 D Roosevelt dime is poised to become even more significant as collectors increasingly appreciate the rarity of premium modern issues. Each passing year removes more coins from circulation due to loss, damage, and natural wear, reducing the number of examples that can qualify for high certification grades. As survival rates shrink and knowledge continues to grow, the coin's cultural, historical, and financial value becomes clearer to collectors worldwide. Ultimately, the 1979 D-dime is more than a piece of currency. It is a symbol of continuity, progress, and the hidden value waiting to be discovered in the most unassuming places. Its appreciation will only intensify as future generations. Fourth, the 1984 P Roosevelt dime may appear unremarkable at first glance, especially when found in extremely dirty and heavily circulated condition. But beneath that surface lies a surprising depth of history, rarity, and hidden value. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period of economic adjustment and technological refinement, this dime represents an important chapter in America's modern decimal coinage. It continues the legacy of the Roosevelt series, introduced decades earlier as a tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt and his impact on American life. By 1984, the series was deeply rooted in U.S. currency, yet coins from this era are gaining renewed importance as collectors realize how many high-grade survivors were lost to circulation and how rare premium condition examples have become. The copper-nickel-clad composition of the 1984 P dime reflects the fully matured transition away from silver coinage. This was a time when the U.S. Mint had perfected the layered copper core and nickel outer shell, creating a coin durable enough to withstand the intense wear of modern economic systems. Even so, the 1984 P issue saw its fair share of striking inconsistencies, planchet imperfections, and machinery shifts that created rare and valuable varieties. These anomalies, once overlooked in everyday commerce, now capture the interest of serious collectors who know that even a dirty coin can hide a dramatic mint error, capable of turning an ordinary find into a high-value treasure. Exceptional examples of the 1984 p-dime, especially those with strong full details, brilliant luster beneath the grime, or significant mint errors, have achieved noteworthy results in the collector's market. When authenticated and certified at high grades, certain rare specimens have fetched values ranging from $1,000 to $9,000 or more, depending on strike quality, rarity, and collector demand. These elevated prices are not tied to the typical circulated dime, but rather to those extraordinary survivors that showcase sharp details or striking anomalies. This small denomination, long overlooked by the general public, proves that even clad modern coins can reach remarkable heights under the right circumstances. Finding any 1984 p-dime in very fine or extremely fine condition is a challenge because the dime is the coin most prone to rapid wear. Its small size makes it vulnerable to scratches, dents, rim damage, and the dulling of high points. When discovered in dirty or discolored form, it becomes even more difficult to evaluate, yet that is where some of the greatest surprises lie. Dirt often acts as an unintentional shield, preserving details that might otherwise be lost to exposure. Many rare varieties have been found in jars, drawers, or boxes after decades of neglect, emerging as unexpectedly valuable pieces once examined with care. From an investment perspective, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime offers strong long-term potential, particularly in the growing market for modern high-grade coins. Younger collectors are increasingly drawn to the clad era because it represents coins they grew up seeing, yet high-quality survivors become scarcer every year. As serious collectors turn their attention to later decades, the competition for certified examples intensifies. With a limited supply of premium 1984 p-dimes and rising demand worldwide, the long-term value outlook remains positive, especially for coins boasting exceptional eye appeal or dramatic mint anomalies. Collectors hopping to identify valuable 1984 p-dimes must rely on knowledge, patience, and proper grading practices. Dirty coins should never be cleaned, as cleaning destroys original surfaces and drastically reduces value. Instead, careful examination using magnification and proper lighting can reveal strike strength, mint errors, and die patterns worth submitting for certification. Learning grading standards, studying known varieties, and joining collector forums, local clubs, or online numismatic groups provides essential guidance. The more educated a collector becomes, the more confidently they can distinguish true rarity from ordinary circulation wear. Culturally, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime carries symbolism far beyond its monetary worth. It represents the strength of American design, the resilience of the nation through economic changes, and the enduring legacy of Roosevelt himself, a leader recognized around the world for courage and humanitarian impact. Because of this, the dime holds international appeal. Collectors outside the United States admire it not only as a piece of currency, but as a representation of American history, innovation, and identity during a transformative era. Over time, the 1984 P. Roosevelt dime continues to rise in numismatic significance as more collectors recognize the hidden value within modern clad issues. Each passing decade makes high-grade examples harder to find, while growing global interest strengthens demand. Whether discovered in filthy condition inside an old box or preserved in a certified holder, this coin reminds us that greatness often hides in the smallest places. Its blend of history, rarity, cultural symbolism, and investment potential ensures that its long-term value and appreciation will only continue to grow as collectors worldwide uncover its true power. As the years go on, the 1984 Roosevelt dime continues to grow in significance because it represents a transitional era when American coinage shifted from traditional silver tones to modern copper-nickel blends, creating a new identity for everyday currency. What makes collectors especially drawn to this coin is how it bridges the past and present, carrying the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt while reflecting the evolving technology, economics, and design philosophy of the U.S. Mint. Even in a heavily worn or dirty condition, the true spirit of the coin remains intact, and those who understand its deeper symbolism recognize that its value is not defined solely by the shine of its surface, but by the story and resilience it embodies. That is why experienced numismatists continue searching for circulated examples, understanding that even the most unimpressive coin at first glance can hide remarkable potential just beneath the tarnish. This growing appreciation fuels a competitive energy within the collector community, where the rarity of high-grade 1984 dimes creates a sense of urgency every time a new find is reported. While thousands of these dimes entered circulation, only a tiny fraction survived with the details sharp enough to qualify as premium specimens. When one appears in fine or extra-fine condition, collectors immediately recognize what it represents: a survivor from decades of economic circulation, commerce, and handling. The excitement surrounding such discoveries continues to push auction prices steadily higher, with seasoned investors eagerly watching market trends and preparing to act quickly whenever the chance arises. Even beginner collectors can feel this current, sensing that this coin is climbing the ranks of modern-era treasures. Another reason the 1984 Roosevelt dime commands attention is its role in shaping the modern coin-collecting landscape. It encourages collectors to look beyond obvious silver-era rarities and pay closer attention to modern circulation coins that often go overlooked. This shift in perspective has opened the door to a new generation of collectors who understand that value isn't always loud. It can be quiet, hidden, and waiting. The 1984 dime becomes a symbol of this mindset, showing that knowledge, patience, and observation often matter more than simply chasing old coins. It teaches that rarity is not always about age. Sometimes, it's about survival, condition, and unexpected scarcity. Its influence also extends beyond the United States, attracting collectors from all over the world who are fascinated by modern American coinage and its cultural symbolism. The portrait of Roosevelt itself carries international recognition as a symbol of leadership, resilience, and humanitarian reform. For many global collectors, owning a rare 1984 dime is like holding a miniature piece of American history, forged during a decade defined by economic transformation, technological advancement, and national pride. This worldwide appeal has created a broader market for the coin, driving demand higher and establishing it as a modern-era collectible with truly global reach. And as markets evolve, one thing remains certain: the long-term value appreciation of the 1984 Roosevelt dime shows no sign of slowing. Its combination of unexpected scarcity, cultural resonance, and rising collector interest makes it a powerful contender for future investment growth. As more people discover the hidden potential of modern numismatics, this coin will continue rising, not just in price, but in historical importance and symbolic weight. Even a dirty, worn example can become a gateway to discovery, a spark that inspires someone to explore the stories behind everyday coins. And for the lucky few who find one in preserved condition, it becomes more than just a dime. It becomes a milestone in their collecting journey, a reminder that true value is often found where others never thought to look. 5. The 2018 Roosevelt dime may seem like an ordinary modern coin, but in the world of numismatics, fascination often rises from the most unexpected places. While regular circulation dimes from this year are common, certain rare mint-era varieties, especially those that survive in unusually high grades, can command astonishing premiums among serious collectors. When found in very dirty condition, the coin may look unremarkable, but beneath that layer of wear and grime lies the possibility of a valuable misstrike, a dramatic off-center strike, a rare doubled die, or a transitional planchet error. These are the types of anomalies that elevate a modern dime into a true collectible. Its modern copper core, copper-nickel-clad composition represents the continuation of America's decimal coinage tradition, a system that began decades earlier when the Roosevelt dime took its place as one of the nation's most trusted everyday denominations. Although minted in the millions, the reason the 2018 D stands out among collectors is due to the scarcity of pristine, sharply struck specimens with major mint errors or exceptional eye appeal. Modern coins go through high-speed machinery, meaning quality control is strict. Only a tiny fraction of mistakes slip through the cracks. And when such an error coin manages to survive circulation, enduring pockets, wallets, dirt, moisture, and years of financial exchange, its rarity intensifies. That is why collectors will pay extraordinary amounts, sometimes ranging from $1,000 to even $9,000 or more, for dramatic error examples certified in superior condition. The contrast between its modern production date and its unexpectedly high value gives the coin a unique mystique within the collecting community. The historical significance of the Roosevelt dime adds another layer of charm to the 2018 D introduced in 1946 as one of America's first post-war decimal coins, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The dime has remained a symbol of national strength and humanitarian spirit. Even modern-date versions like the 2018 D carry that legacy forward, acting as a bridge between generations of collectors. Its copper-nickel structure reflects the evolution of American coinage from silver to modern clad metals, a shift that defined the economic transition of the country. The 2018 D may be modern, but it inherits the full historical weight of the series. Collectors are increasingly turning their attention to modern coins, recognizing that rarity isn't always tied to age. It is often tied to condition, preservation, and exceptional errors. This new wave of interest has pushed demand higher for contemporary pieces like the 2018 D Roosevelt dime, especially those that survive with dramatic visual anomalies. As the numismatic market becomes more competitive, collectors understand that securing rare modern errors today may be far more affordable than trying to acquire them decades in the future when their scarcity becomes fully recognized. A dirty, worn example can sometimes conceal a valuable error beneath its surface, making even circulated finds exciting to examine. Investment potential for this coin rests on three powerful factors: the rising market for modern mint errors, the increasing emphasis on high-grade certification, and the expanding global interest in U.S. decimal coinage. Professional grading agencies play a major role in securing value, confirming authenticity, and assigning precise grades. Collectors know that certification transforms a common coin into a trusted investment-grade specimen. Those who find or purchase a 2018 D dime with a significant error and submit it for grading can experience substantial jumps in market value, especially when the coin receives high marks for its strike quality, surfaces, and overall preservation. For collectors who want to explore the potential of the 2018 D dime, focusing on condition, detail clarity, and error detection is essential. Magnification, proper lighting, and comparison with known error varieties help uncover subtle features that determine value. Joining numismatic communities, both online and in person, offers invaluable knowledge, providing access to experts, shared discoveries, and emerging market trends. Discussions about modern mint errors have become especially active, and the Roosevelt dime remains central to many of those conversations. A supportive community can turn a beginner into a skilled collector, capable of identifying meaningful differences that others overlook. Beyond the technicalities of collecting, the 2018 Roosevelt dime carries cultural symbolism that extends far beyond its face value. Roosevelt's image reminds Americans of resilience, leadership during crisis, and the importance of humanitarian progress. Even modern dimes echo that legacy, making them more than mere pocket change. International collectors admire this symbolism, with many valuing Roosevelt dimes as representations of American history, ideals, and artistic continuity. This broad appeal gives the 2018 dime a unique position in global numismatics, strengthening its long-term desirability. In the years to come, the long-term value appreciation of rare 2018 era dimes is expected to strengthen as more people recognize the importance of modern mint anomalies. Coins once dismissed as common circulation pieces will emerge as treasures of the modern collecting era. Those lucky enough to discover or invest in high-grade, error-bearing examples today could witness significant increases in future market value. The 2018 Roosevelt dime, especially with a dramatic mint error, stands as a testament to the idea that greatness can be hidden in the smallest, simplest objects, waiting for the right collector to uncover its story, its rarity, and its enduring worth. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2018 Roosevelt dime is how it demonstrates that modern coinage still holds surprises, even in an era of high-tech minting. Unlike coins from the early 20th century, which were produced using less precise equipment, modern dimes are struck with advanced machinery that minimizes errors, but rare anomalies still occur. These can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual planchet flaws. When such a coin survives decades of circulation, even in a dirty or heavily worn state, it becomes a tangible piece of minting history. Collectors understand that these rare survivals tell a story about the production process itself and provide insight into the precision and occasional imperfection of modern coin making. The appeal of the 2018 dime extends beyond its rarity and errors to the story it tells about everyday American life. As a small denomination, dimes circulate extensively, passing through countless hands, machines, and environments. Each mark, scratch, or discoloration reflects the realities of commerce and personal interaction. For collectors, a dirty 2018 dime is not just a coin. It is a witness to decades of transactions, a miniature historical record of ordinary moments in an extraordinary country. This layer of human history adds a unique emotional connection to the coin, elevating its value beyond mere metal or minting quality. From an investment perspective, the 2018 dime represents a modern opportunity that few collectors anticipated a decade ago. The market for high-grade modern errors continues to expand, as collectors and investors alike recognize the scarcity of these coins. Unlike older silver coins, which are often already well documented and priced, modern error coins remain under the radar for many casual collectors. This creates an environment in which savvy investors can acquire coins today at relative affordability, knowing that global demand and the finite number of surviving high-grade specimens will increase value steadily over time. The combination of rarity, certification, and collector interest forms a solid foundation for future appreciation. The international appeal of the 2018 Roosevelt dime also contributes significantly to its status as a collectible. Roosevelt's image is recognized worldwide, and his association with leadership, resilience, and humanitarian progress resonates with collectors across continents. Many international numismatists actively seek modern U.S. coins not only for their potential value, but also for their cultural and historical significance. The 2018 dime, especially with a notable error or sharp preservation, allows collectors worldwide to own a piece of American history, bridging cultures while providing a tangible connection to a globally respected figure and era. Ultimately, the long-term value of the 2018 Roosevelt dime rests on a combination of historical relevance, rarity, and the excitement of discovery. Coins that were once dismissed as everyday change are now recognized as hidden treasures of the modern era, especially those with minting anomalies or exceptional condition beneath the grime. As more collectors worldwide focus on modern coins, the appreciation of rare 2018 dimes is expected to strengthen, both culturally and financially. Even a heavily worn, dirty example can carry the potential for transformation, through careful certification, analysis, and preservation, into a prized collectible that embodies history, artistry, and